This is the Blank Dive Show. For creators who don't wait for clarity, they move anyway. This isn't about perfection. It's pressure, doubt, deadlines, and building something real with limited resources. It's about momentum when motivation runs out, mindset when the noise gets loud, and making the work, especially when it's uncomfortable. Through raw conversations with filmmakers, writers, musicians, artists, and curators, we talk about showing up, breaking barriers, and turning ideas into action. This is the dive into the unknown, no permission, no safety net, just the work.
Yo, yo.
Episode 7, people. Lucky number 7.
6, 7.
Yeah, 7. Oh, God. 6, 7.
6, 7.
Oh, my God. 7 is such a special number, guys. There's 7 days in a week, 7 notes in music, 7 colors in the rainbow.
Let's go.
We got a 777 this bitch up. All right. Tonight we are talking about legacy.
Yeah.
All right. The things that we can or can't live without. The idea of tonight, and we want to dive headfirst into this conversation, is the idea of what if this project you're working on, artists out there, is your last? How would you want to be remembered? That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know, that is so, like, every time I do a project, unfortunately, I think of it as a sense of my last, not because I'm going to die or anything, hopefully not, but because, like, can I afford to do another one of these?
Yeah.
Can I get a team together again to believe in my vision?
Yes, you
moving
can.
forward?
Yes, you can.
You can, but it, like, every time you do it, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't count their blessings. They think about next time, you know, I didn't get it right this time, but next time I'm going to get this blessing right. We don't know what tomorrow brings.
No, not at all.
You know, so that's the thing that I always worry about is, like, we live in the here and the now, and I have these opportunities now. So what can I do with this current project, and how can I make it to work? Have you guys ever felt like there's so much pressure on the moment because whatever you're working on, this might be what you're most remembered for?
You said any pressure? Is that what you?
Yeah, like, you never feel pressure for, like, you get whatever that it is. It could be a role in a film, an album, whatever you're about to be released. It could be a comedy act. That when you get on that stage, this might be the show. Because remember, legacy isn't what you make, like, what you want it to be. It's what people perceive sometimes. So you might get on that stage, and this person only seen you once. They didn't follow you to each one of your shows. So they might see you on your worst performance. So that's how you're going to be remembered, unfortunately, because of maybe it's inconsistent. So those are the things that kind of, like, when I was younger, I was fearless. I felt like I was so much more fearless with my art and how I would write and the films I would produce, because there was a lot less pressure on, like, the idea that, you know, you think too much as you get older. And how will people perceive this? How will people carry my name moving forward? You know?
I never really thought about it too much, but I do want to have a good lasting legacy, if you could agree to that. Something that everyone could remember and be like, yeah, hey, he has some good stuff left behind, and he was a good person.
Yeah. I guess if that's the ultimate goal, like, you know, like, even if you're still, because sometimes, like, you know, if you pass away and people trash your legacy, you're not here to hear it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're in a better place. The worst thing ever is if you leave that behind, or you're still working on it and your legacy is trash. You know, you're still around in the industry of whatever that industry may be creatively, and people perceive you a certain way, and you can't get out of that, you know,
It seems,
negative mindset.
it seems to be part of the story, I guess, though. Like, oh man, we perceived him like he was out here doing stuff, like bad stuff, but then in real life, some of that could be true, but in real life, I could have been trying to get better. The people who really know you would put that information out.
Yeah, hopefully. That's that's a terror from my perspective, is just hopefully people will be there to support you and push your story ahead, because that's my biggest fear, is how you're going to be remembered at the end of the day. And they think of filmmakers, they think of artists, they're always trying to like piss on their territory, put their name on books, put their name at the head of like the credits of a film, put their name above in glowing lights on a stage. They want that type of memory. They want that type of feedback. But when you don't get it, that's the scary part.
I guess it could be scary. Sometimes I'm like I said, I don't really. It's a really good question, and if like it popped up in the past before, but I usually start to forget about it for some reason. I don't know if it's information or something I got or advice that I got when I was younger, or like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But I don't know. I'm more in the moment and being like, all right, I just put this out. Now I'm nervous of what this is more than, okay, I put something out. I'm on my deathbed. How are people gonna remember me? It seems to be something that never really sticks to my mind that much.
I guess that's a positive thing, because a lot of times I've known a lot of people, like, to think about the idea of legacy. A lot of people automatically go to like their deathbed or like that. But there's like this other idea that you may move on to other things. Prior to this conversation, we talked about like 50 Cent, right?
Yeah.
I grew up looking at him as an artist, as a rapper, right? And I think the closer we get into the future, as we hear in the present, I think he's moving further and further away from hip hop, where he's becoming known for being a filmmaker, a producer. And whether he succeeds in it or not is another thing. But a lot of people are like, they still compare him to what he was, first known for, as, he's a rapper.
Yeah.
And he'll always be. But there's going to come a time where there's going to be more years ahead in his new field, in his new professional works as a filmmaker, that's going to be kind of where where he should be, or maybe where he wants to be.
But do you think he's thinking about his legacy almost like hardcore, like, okay, I got to do this because I need my legacy to be good, da, da, da. Or is he doing it with a little part of him going, all right, this could be something that people could remember me by? You know what I'm saying?
I think so too, because people want to be remembered for multiple things too. I do agree, but like I listened to a conversation on a podcast from Andre 3000 from Outkast, one of the greatest MCs to ever live, one of them, and in my opinion, my humble opinion, but he went on and said, like, hip hop is a young man's sport most of the time. It's about trends a lot of time. It's about it doesn't have to be, but that's his perspective. So like, he kind of was getting more into the acting and other types of music, because it's like, how am I supposed to inspire a generation of like kids that are like in high school or middle school, people really taking in hip hop for the first time, when the guy is in his 50s. So he's like, I'm over here, like a lot of the struggles that I talked about in my early music, I'm living in a mansion now. Like I have someone chauffeur me around,
I guess it shows like different people's legacy, I guess, because some people are going to remember 50 Cent as this rapper that blew right up, and he did great. But I actually see 50 Cent more as a director now. Like, and I love 50 Cent. I loved his music when it came out, But I look at him as a director now. I mean, I look at him as a businessman. It's like he took these steps to become where he wanted to go, like where he wants to be. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people miss that. Like they look at neither one or the other, but they don't look at them as it's all part of the game. You know, that he kind of stepped in it and he's like, I need to do this to get here. So he kind of took this step, you know, and I mean, look at the investment in vitamin water. I mean, he made what, $100 million, like
I need a
with
little bit
this.
of that.
I know, man. I mean, but it's smart moves. He made a lot of smart moves to get to where he's at. And it's almost like I think he wants to be known as a director and a successful businessman. And he did it from the hood. You know, he did it from the trenches. He did it from the, you know, selling crack to blowing up. Like, you
Allegedly.
know, huh?
I said allegedly. You don't want to put nothing out there.
Yeah, allegedly.
But you were definitely cooking with that. That's how I feel.
It's the truth. I think people have different views of his legacy, or they're gonna at the end of his, you know, his road. You know, but I like applaud him, man. He's doing great for him. He's one of my favorite, man. He's one of my favorites. So
Me too.
Yeah.
Not to glaze him, but he's like an inspiration, especially for a lot of Black people. That I don't have to just be a rapper or be the to what I actually want to do. He's an inspiration. He's a what do you call it? He's like a not a guru. What's the word? When they give you advice and help you, and you could model what you want to do after what they're doing. I don't know why the words. I literally just had it in my head like 2 seconds ago.
role model.
Yeah, like a role model. There we go.
Yeah.
He's like a role model.
You had it, man. You had it. It was right there.
So it's like during the journey, you might not see it as the legacy, but you might start to see it towards the end and stuff like that. Like, and when you keep moving like that, like you keep doing stuff. He did the vitamin water, like you guys said. He was a rapper. He did some of the boxing stuff. So, and now he's doing movies. So, like, it's just an inspiration to watch and kind of be a part of the journey.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
He shares it with you, you know?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Those are the type of things that are interesting to think about when you think about legacy, because a lot of people just automatically tune into the fact of, like, you know, they're sitting there giving you your flowers after you're, you know, dead and gone.
Yeah.
But it's about giving flowers sometimes when they're still here. You know,
I think of our own grandfather, man. I mean, look at Grandpa, man. He was a great musician, great, and he grew up in such a rough time. You know what I mean? And he was a great singer, and I mean the mob at the time, they wanted to hire him, the mob, you know, to sing for him. You know, and he was a father, and he had 10 kids, and he was a hard worker, and he chose that, you know, to take care of his family, but he never gave up on singing. He always sung. You know, he sung to his grandkids. He sung to all of us. And you know, out of his 10 kids, he produced so many different artists. You know what I mean? I mean, I rap. You know, I got my uncle, and he does blues, and you know, we got different artists in the family because of, you know, kind of all springing off my grandfather. You know, and I got to give him his flowers for that, because he could have went one way and he took the other. You know,
It's like the Wayans brothers.
you know.
The Wayans brothers, we all grew up with them, and now they're kids and cousins, like nephews, nieces are in the film and stuff now, and it's watch.
Absolutely.
They're all inspired, you know, by their family, and it's that in itself is a legacy within itself, really.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
So for you guys, you know, you both can answer. You can ask once at a time, whatever you want to do. But for you, what matters most, like, of how you're remembered? Not necessarily in death, but what you want to be known for.
I actually wrote down a couple things, and I know it's tacky to write things down and announce them, but I wrote them down so I can remember them, okay? I didn't get much sleep last night. My attempts, my tries, my faith, my family, my hard work, and my spirit. Like, those are the things I want to kind of be remembered for. Like, how hard did I try? How many times did I go after something? How many times did I go after it without quitting? How many times did I try? I want to be known for my faith. You know, I do a whole podcast about my faith. You know, I want to be known that I'm a family man. I'm a father, you know, I'm a husband. I want to be known for that. I want to be known for my work, my hard work. You know, I've taken my children with me on some of the jobs, you know, that I've done. And the older my children got, they tell people that they know, you know, my father's one of the hardest people I've ever seen work. I want to be known for those kind of things in life, you know. And on top of it, I want to be known for my music, you know, for all the creative base and all the people that enjoy music and enjoy talent. I want to be known for that, you know, when I do leave this place. You know, those are the things I definitely want to be remembered for, you know.
Very nice.
That's
Yeah.
good. For me, I literally, literally just thought about something that always crossed my mind is being successful. That's just one of them. But knowing that knowing that I could make it from all the stuff I've been through, where I came from, it would be awesome to be successful. Another thing is inspiring, and then the last thing would be someone who gave great knowledge and was a nice guy.
Hey, that's it.
To dig a little deeper in that, what do you view as success, though? Because for success could be inspiring one person. Like, what is success?
That's the ultimate question. It may be something I have to answer a little later on because I think we talked about it before, and I talked about it with other people. Success can mean different things, being successful.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll be on that side of, oh, I can just have a family and that way I'm successful. And sometimes I'm like, no, I gotta make it. I gotta do my goal, and that's me. That's what I want to do. You know, so I always teeter back and forth.
Yeah. It is a good question, really. And it is different, I think, for different people. I think all three of us would have a different um and as we should. All three of us should have a different interpretation of what success means to them. You know what I mean? I mean, like for myself, I guess I want to, and I said this before and I'm sticking with it. I'll always say, as long as I went for it, as long as I went for it in life and I gave it everything I had until I couldn't give it no more. And I fought and fought and fought. And then I realized neither I made it or I did it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to look at it and say, you know something? Am I a failure? Or did I succeed in trying my hardest to get to where I wanted to go? You know, just like you know, Charlie knows to say, we've came from really rough bringings. I think all three of us came from hard bringings. Bottom line, we came from bottom, very impoverished, and, you know, a lot of trouble at home and everything else. And if we can make it to this pinnacle, you know, that's not failure, that's success. Like, and I look at, if we could look back and say, you know something, I made it, you know, I was able to live my dream and do these things that I wanted to do, even if you don't make it to the pinnacle, like right to the top, but you did live your dream. Is That's success to me. You did what you love doing the whole time, and you love doing it the whole time. That's success. I think, my personal belief.
I
You know.
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement. I do believe that if we can live out of it's all the things that get in the way of our lives. If we're able to do the things we love and see it to completion, that to me is a form of success. The other form of success for me is how an audience views your work,
Mm.
getting that feedback, the good, bad, and indifferent.
The
Getting
ugly.
that
Yeah.
type of getting that type of feedback, and I've always brought it back is the ultimate goal for a lot of artists that it's very challenging to receive. I mean, sometimes when we're doing the podcasts or releasing trailers or we get up on stage, sometimes we feel like we're screaming into the void that nobody's listening. And then when you get that one person, that one unsolicited person, like not like your best buddy or your family
Yeah.
reaching out, when you get that one person to be like, you don't realize what your story meant to me.
Yeah.
And I did a few book readings last year towards the end of the year for I actually did the book readings for the release of Reign of Grandeur, but I also read segments of Metamorphosis, which is my memoir. And when I was reading some segments of that story, afterwards, people were coming up to me and they were like, I love both books, but this really resonated with me because I felt the honesty in what you were writing. Like I felt like I was reliving parts of my youth, and I wasn't telling like all like traumatic, trauma dumping stories. I was sometimes telling them like happy moments, and like that idea that you were bringing someone back. So like the idea that I was able to bring joy to someone, that to me would be like, if I could choose my legacy, Charles brought joy
I like that.
to people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was honest. He was a funny guy. He made some really damn banging baked ziti, whatever. But he brought joy to people. Like he liked to party, he liked to bring people in, because like that is like it outside of like the art. That's the stuff that I love the most is bringing people together and having a good time. But
Yeah.
some people like like we don't choose our legacies. So like I guess hopefully I'm on the right path, from whatever, because like I said, sometimes it might not be like the almighty RIP. It might be things happen in life where you can't do sometimes the things you love to do, or you move on to some other new challenges. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know how many people I've worked with in the past, like I started in the filmmaking with, and they went on to have families. They went on to get married. They went on to move away. They still love them, but now they're working another job that they love very much. And it's like, it's something that's always a part of them. And that's a good thing. Like you carry this stuff forever, these talents, but you might move on to be known for something entirely different in the end.
Absolutely.
I resonate with that story a lot because once when I was in high school, I was kind of class clown. Used to be cutting up, and the teacher challenged me because I guess he thought I was challenging him in the class. He said, "You think you're so funny?" He said, "You think you're so funny? Come up here and do like 5 minutes." I was like, "All right." I bombed.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I bombed, but I still get messages to this day that say, "I remember when you went up and did a whole little stand-up set in high school," and I was like, they were like, "You, that was so funny, it was hilarious," and I was like, it makes my day just thinking about that, and people remember something like that. It's truly
Yeah,
awesome.
those type of things are awesome, because you don't know, like I said, you don't choose that. But you, on the flip side of what you're talking about with the high school days, I have a similar circumstance. And you ever run into somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, like you want to duck them in the grocery store because you just don't feel like talking right now,
Mhm.
and you run into like an old buddy of yours or someone that you talked to but you weren't really cool with, and they're like, "Hey, I see on Facebook you're doing great, man. I never would have thought in a million years how successful you are."
Man.
From the and like and then you're like, "Oh, thank you." They're saying I'm successful, but then at the same time, what the fuck do you mean by that? Because like in high school, I was a class clown. I fuck around. I had teachers that like I knew thought I wouldn't amount to be shit because I was holding on by the skin of my sack. I could not do it. Like sit me down in front of some math equations and I'm
Yeah.
doodling, like I just wasn't there mentally. And unfortunately, all these years later, I still don't use those math equations to get where I'm at in life. So they didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, guys, you could be whatever you want to be in life and not,
Yeah.
know who all the presidents are. And
Einstein.
yeah, so but at the same time, like, not saying anything against going to school, but yeah, like those people viewed me for that time period and they were like, "Man, I bet you that kid's working at McDonald's right now." Or, and like, or that guy's going to be a garbage man. And I always say this one thing. I'm like, some of those garbage men are making more than the teachers that were talking that shit.
Truth.
I remember
Truth.
movie.
Just stating that, not, and I love my teachers. They have inspired me so much over the years, but there has always been that negative concept of what your legacy is based on how you grew up, or, like they didn't realize necessarily what I was going through mentally at that time. I mean, and I, just not even to get to a darker subject, but I grew up, like I said, like Danny was talking about, a darker period. But my mother died when I was 14 years old. I didn't really have a long-standing relationship with my mother because every day is a gift. Um, she was diagnosed with cancer when I was like, I don't know, 11, 12 years old before she passed away. And before that, I only lived with my mother till I was about 7 years old. So I never really had a long relationship with the woman. But I knew my mom was, as I grew older, that my mom was extremely artistic, and she was deep into poetry and writing poetry, and she loved music and she loved dancing, and these were like things that like brought her so much joy. And it's like so funny how, though I didn't see much of this, I was a child, but through other people's narratives and through her work that she left behind as an adult, I look at this and I'm like, it's fascinating to see how we can paint a picture of someone's talents without them, necessarily being here or even experiencing them at all. Because, the one thing, like Danny and my other older siblings, they have a lot more memories that they witnessed that I don't have. I don't, I'm, a little younger. I didn't live there. So like there's a lot of stuff that I found out through her art that I necessarily didn't see in person. So like I find that stuff really brilliant about art and about the legacy of art and how it could, be transformative, because sometimes it's not what you see with your own two eyes. It's through the stories that other people tell, and
How it lives
how
on.
your work lives on. I mean, is there anything that you feel like that any of your work that you say like, damn, like if someone heard this song, if someone saw this movie, if someone, saw this comic, whatever it is, that they would get a good sense of who I was?
Mm.
It,
I think for me it would be my, like, to be honest, and I'm a musician, but I think out of anything it would be my podcast. If people were to listen to my podcast, they would see who I am. They would listen to who I am. From the hurt to the good, bad, and ugly. It's like a movie with a twist. You know what I mean? That's my podcast in a whole. It's like my life story. That's what it's about. With a twist on it. I mean, bottom line is even my the other podcast, Lantern Ministry, that started off like in kind of a similar place I'm at right now. You know what I mean? A lot of surgeries, a lot of problems, a lot of health issues, a lot of financial problems. There isn't like a like a there isn't an end game for that for me. It's health issues, problems, different things. So it's like my podcast kind of tells the story, and I wanted to tell the story all the way till the end. You know what I mean? I say that to the viewers as well. I'm going to be here until the end. So that's kind of what I would like to be remembered for. You know what I mean? Very open. That I was an open book, because I truly am.
I would like to say I'm still working on it. I look back at my work and just going through my the files in my head. I still got to work on what I really want to put out and how people can really get to know me through my work.
Yeah.
I think as an artist,
Good.
the only way I could answer my own question would be to say it depends on the day you're asking. Because, if I'm, like, because your movies only tell so much, and your writing tells another whole story. Like if you're writing books, I mean, it all depends on whatever art form it is and how, whatever mood I'm feeling at that day, I guess. Like, yeah, what are we doing for this? Just put it all on the tombstone. Put it all there. But
Yeah.
it's funny because actually, like, I'm not going to name his name, but you ever see like a end email address where someone puts like 50 tags on it because like they really want you to fucking know what they're about, like as opposed to putting John Smith director, they're like John Smith, actor, writer, award-winning author, producer, you know, number
Entrepreneur.
one entrepreneur, 5-time, nominee. Like, it's like, dude, we get it. Pat yourself on the back already. Okay, we get it. You're a champion. I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation about legacy, and I think we can dig so deep into that idea, and without getting too strung up on the idea. I think it's about that time, guys, that we bring on our guest of the hour, the almighty, the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented, the epic Chaz Charles Martin III.
Oh.
Gentlemen, thank you. And thank you. Lucky number 7. Gee, you have to think about it. Just to start off on the right foot on this, because my nephew had cancer a long time ago, and just a short end about this. I was announcing the football game, so it was a senior moment. I said, "Hey, lucky number 7, that's my nephew. He beat the odds." So lucky number 7 for me. Yeah, I'm definitely beating the odds. I'm definitely doing what we do. We definitely, and I heard the majority of it. You were dead on, pardon the pun, dead on. But you guys hit it perfectly. A legacy is, legendary. In my lifetime, it's just so extraordinary working with 3 amazing gentlemen like yourselves out there with the movies, the music, the support, the consultation. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, I think this is very much
the audience a little bit of a backstory here. So because for those that don't know, Chaz, you have worked with me in Transcending Pictures now going on, what is it, 8-9 years? About? It's got
actually Fit Savior.
Oh,
so that was
it's been over a decade. So
it's been
over a decade, you have been working with Transcending Pictures on various projects. Okay, now
correct.
You've held titles such as a script supervisor. You've held titles such as an executive producer. You have held titles as an actor, a supporting actor in some of these projects. Okay. You have done behind the scenes photography and videography as well as marketing. You've been all over the place with these productions. So you hold so many different important titles. Okay. And throughout all the odds, throughout this past decade, you were working full time. You were dealing with your own personal challenges, nearly homelessness at one point, and going to a situation where shortly, what was it, a little earlier than last year, about a little more than a year ago, you got
exactly what happened during this time. What we did, where the high ends, the auditions, a couple of like you and the board or the audition panel saw how different I looked, and I said, "Yeah, I better get myself checked out." So, yeah, it's been a little over a year, Charles.
Yeah, a little over a year. So what he's talking about is you were diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Correct.
And I just want to say this from the bottom of my heart. We love you, Chaz. But the one thing that is really special from what I've seen from the outside looking in, and maybe I could be wrong, but I've never seen somebody celebrate life as much as I've seen you celebrate life in the past year. You've done so many things. You've been out and about. You're always at different venues. You're out there, getting honorees for pancreatic cancer awareness at the government center, LGBTQ community. You're out there consistently pushing positivity and love out there. And you're always there to support and guide people while all this is going on.
Yeah, I guess there's a snowplow going on in the back here. Yeah. But yeah. Basically, my philosophy from right now, from that point on, I want to make sure that, you know, like these little blurbs. It's like, good morning, just checking in, sipping coffee, going to get my blood work done, and then errands. It's a win. And every day it's a win to get up and just make sure you go do it. Just really show the world that I don't want any, it's so, I get that little back in my mind saying the woe is me, woe is me. No, 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 no. There's no woe is me. Don't ever weep for me, because I'm stronger than you would know it. I mean, I've been through a lot of challenges in my life, and a lot of things, it's been a journey. It's been literally a journey, and I'm still here. So, and I'm creating legacies every day. So just being around people, that's the main thing.
It's super inspiring to hear that, because often people do that woe is me, and they're like, well, the reason why I'm not doing such and such is because I wasn't feeling good, or daddy did this, or my girlfriend walked out, or whatever. You got severe things happening, but you're still present. You're still in the moment, and you're still creating. We're going back to years now. I just want to show you now. This little clip. I want you to tell me what was going on. After you show this clip, I want you to tell me what was going on in your mind. Now, this is a clip snippet from Oath to Injustice.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Pour a little on his mouth,
like his teeth.
Oh yes. Boy! Put it in the cap. If you pour it there, it will go in his nose. That's why I was.
Ah. Okay. So.
All right, open.
Or should he do like cheese?
I'll spit it so it comes out all. You need more than that. Sorry. Yeah, more.
Ugh.
You need like a full mouthful of it.
Yeah. This way though, Chaz. Put your head this way.
Doing it up.
Let it reach that way.
Oh man.
Wow! I'm telling you, Charles. Wow.
Yeah. So what was going on in your mind right there? What's for dinner?
Probably. Actually, that was a late night. Keep that in mind. It was one of those late night shooting. I just started cracking up, and I said, how much blood do we need to do, Charles? How much more blood? But in the back of my mind, I guess, in the past, with the Q&As and whatnot, I learned something from one of the late actresses. She said, every character you're custodial to. And I was custodial to that character at the time. And it just, brought out, I guess, really the bad, the bad guy in me, basically. But here I am, such a good guy, and then now you did something, Charles. I don't know how you did it, but we did it. So
That's funny, because Chaz is like the most like happy, good person I know, and I think that was also Injustice, right?
Yeah,
that's also
That I had an experience with Chaz where we had to do a stunt, and I'll get a little into stuff I didn't say before. I was just getting mad and frustrated, and then Chaz was like, "Could you chill out? Like, I'm older in age," and it was a learning experience for me. Actually, as soon as he said that, it was a learning experience for me. I was like, some people probably can't do that type of stuff, but they're trying the best of their abilities. And I was like, if I continue on being like, no, I can't work with this, will I be labeled as someone hard to work with? And it was really a really good learning experience for me.
You know what, Benny? It was a great time working with you, and with the projects that we did, like obviously with the the current project that we all all lend a hand, and it's a pleasure. It was really a pleasure, looking at great stories, great writing, um, just to be a part of the family, and you know, you guys did an awesome job, really.
You
So
did
I-
all too, letting you know. It was great working with you as well.
Yeah.
So we were talking about a little bit where you just talked about the stunts and you gotta be easy. I'm not no pussy, but I can tell you right now, there's been some actors I've worked with over the years that are super duper rough. Like they go to grab you in a scene and literally like dislocate your arm. Like you know what I mean? Like I've had my nose broken on set. You know, literally like crazy. We had to get it snapped into place because someone knocked me the fuck out. I'm like, chill out, people. You got to do what you got to do. But that was just my little perspective there. But so when you're talking about producing and the films that you've worked on and the projects that you've worked on over the years,
Right.
what do you think these projects have done to shape you as a human being?
That is an extension. Now, most of you know that I DJ, that I worked 24/7 round the clock. Different resorts, different places. Worked in radio for numerous years. And as a matter of fact, when I moved back from California, I was at a radio station out there, and I said, you know what? Let me try something. Let me try to get into filming and do a little acting and see what where this would lead to. And believe me, it was a new chapter for me. And just seeing how we all work, especially in independent companies, which is fantastic. It just means a lot of different levels, a lot of different variables. So the acting and the filming part, this is absolutely, that's another thing I could actually hang on to my belt for.
If you were to leave advice for future, young producers, what advice would you give to them stepping into the arena of independent productions?
What I would do? I mean, I would say take that moment, look at the situation, read what you need to do, get some consultation along with the team, and see where we can do. I mean, you and I, Charles, we've talked, prior to, like, in some consultation here and there, and it worked out. But anyone who's very interested or want to get to that, get into that arena, definitely just listen to the ones that were there, as a precedent. If you really want to get into it and have that passion for it, go for it, and definitely never give up. If you know the quality that you have and the staff and the crew that you got, you never give up on them. And
No.
you just got to keep a positive aspect of it.
What's one of your good qualities? I mean, you have many good qualities, but when you're on set,
Mhm.
on the professional aspect, you are a wonderful listener. You
Yes.
take in the information. You're not one of those people that there's a lot of people that they want to act like they know everything, and they come to these places because like we talked about legacy, and they're so worried about what everyone's going to think and whatever. You take a back seat sometimes and you take it all in before you start announcing and making directions and directives, because you want to know all the players in the game.
Exactly.
It's like a Game of Thrones in a way. You want to know each little chess piece and how it's going to work on a production. And I think that's a great asset for a team, is because you want to know what's your best places, as well as you kind of get the best out of people and how to place them in productions. Bring the best out of people, I should say.
Right.
What would
I
you-
would say
Sorry,
I would actually say basically I would be in that that one person's shoes, and how can I figure to do the quality of the of the character, or of maybe the photographer, or maybe the audio, or being that utility person on the set, and just putting myself in their shoes for the day, and it makes it possible. It makes it great, really. And it's just that, oh yeah, I remember doing this back in so and so, and now I'm bringing this to the table. So yeah, I actually put myself in other people's shoes and just learn about it a little bit more. So
Chaz,
Yeah.
I met you, I think I was on the Savior, right? I think it was Savior.
Savior.
That's when I first met you, Chaz. And I remember you, that's when I met you as Chaz the DJ, because I remember you setting up my music, remember, on the stage? We were in we had the whole, what were we in, Charlie? You rented that place out.
We were at the
Villaroma Resort and Country.
Resort.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. And you were setting it up, and I remember I got to perform and you were in the back DJing. So I kind of remember you as Chaz the DJ. And then I got to meet you. We got to talking. We both love the same teams, and you're from Buffalo. I didn't realize that until you told me, and we were kind of grunting it. We were doing the kind of like a lot of the back work, moving stuff and setting things up, and it's kind of how I got to, meet you in the beginning. But I had a question, but it's been a pleasure for sure, man, and I hope we get to work many more times again, man. We've been on several sets together. What are some of your most proud accomplishments? Some of your most proud throughout your career, Chaz?
Wow. I mean, if you want to date something back, I would say, I was a team manager for a local high school here. And in 1986, I had the prestigious, I was the winner of the Male Perseverance Award. You see, perseverance means a lot to me. It's the patience, the spontaneity, the sportsmanship, and whatnot. And then I take that to every year. And one of my favorite sayings right now, and you've seen this every time, raising the bar. That's what I've been doing. I've been raising the bar every time when I get a chance. What else has been in my life? Working in radio. I've met so many other amazing individuals. As Charles mentioned, I was recognized for pancreatic for the Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, and it touched my heart because that's kind of like a platform that I'm working on right now, and just saying there's an understanding about it. As you may know, been doing this. This is like my bye week, so this is a good thing. I just had my 22nd round of chemo, and it's sometimes it gets a little tiring, but it's the strength. And I live through prayers and faith. Other accomplishments, just I think more of the entertainment value of it. With radio, television, filming, it's such a plethora of it. Believe me.
Absolutely. Perseverance, man. Perseverance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say
For
that?
sure.
Would you say that's one of, or all those things you named, is that your legacy defined?
It could be defined a little bit more. I think I'm in a process of trying to get my books back. I'm in the process of in the moving, and it's a work in progress. But I do have some. I want to do the mentor. I want to do not mentor, but a memoir, and it said the first 50 years of behind the scenes, and this is what I've seen in my life and working with, in the Tri-County area, then going out to California, coming back. It's been a really big learning experience, and how we could take it a little, how I took it a little higher with it. So that's the process that I'm trying to work on as well.
I want to ask. Sorry,
It's all good. It's like you're soaking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask a little deeper question and make you really think a little bit harder. Just
Sure.
think for this one, a think piece. Has your diagnosis changed how you view your life's work?
That's a real good question. You know, as a hardworking individual like I was, for so many years, I mean, I get a little tired. I get a little bit here, but I knew I had to carry on. And how can I carry on within? It goes within deeper with me. The heart, the soul, the mind, and how, you know, I really never wished that I never had it. I mean, I wish I was like, fulfilling life, which I am. Yet it's, sometimes it's a challenge, but sometimes it's definitely well worth, the rewards and the, awards the accolades that's been doing. And I see it about it every day. So, I don't let the condition define me. I let, again, I get up every day, have my coffee, and again, it's a win. Um, Especially, during these times.
During these
So
frigid months.
exactly. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know.
You're an inspiration, man. You really are, man. And I mean, one thing out of tonight's episode I'm going to get from you that will stick is perseverance, man, because you truly are an inspiration, Chaz. And I've never
Thank
seen anybody. You like Charlie said earlier, man. You do a lot. Like I went to the Halloween party. Now, out of anybody that had any reason not to show up, you were there. You showed
Yeah.
up. And I
Mm-hmm.
was shocked because you were wearing a mask and I didn't even know it was you. And you pulled your mask down and you're like, hey, and I'm like, whoa, Chaz. I mean, you're an inspiration, man. I mean, you truly are, and I'm rooting for you 100%, dude. And you keep going, man, because you look at you, man, and nobody ever should have a reason to ever quit, never quit. you
Like you
know,
And
who doesn't have a mean bone in their body, which I would take away from that. Learning, being
thank you.
around. Yeah.
Thank you.
Except when you got his bad side. If you're talking while you're not supposed to be talking on set, Chad's gonna karate chop the shit out of somebody.
yeah.
Or if you're driving down,
I'll get my baseball bat out of the car. Like, now, what did you say?
Or if you're backseat or rear view driving while Chaz is driving, don't do that.
Yeah.
I drove to Jersey.
Backseat drivers.
I drove to Jersey with Chaz, and put it this way, Chaz didn't give a fuck where we were. He jammed the brakes on the tri-state. Like, he didn't care.
Yeah.
Do not give him directions if the GPS is saying one way. Do not say something else.
That's it.
But you know what? It's good though. Those are the things, because we're all human, and very hard. It's very challenging for a lot of people to not show those human tendencies, but always somehow show a caring nature, and that's what you do. So I just want to show this quick clip. This is from behind the scenes. We did interviews during the mantra process.
Oh yeah.
It was positive. It was hopeful. It was. You really had to bring your A game. You had to be positive because we all had specific jobs to do. Whether it been one job as simple as director of photography, or the director acting as one of the characters in the movie, or as myself, working, taking the task and getting that adrenaline kick, the adrenaline kick with whatever you got, and using the proper and hopeful words that you can get through without a flying temper, or in that generalization. Yet I have to say, being on set was definitely a positive and electrifying, feeling for me.
So yeah,
That's right.
like I said, you're always giving some positivity. Because listen, I listen to a lot of interviews, right? And some people gas me up, some people are honest, but you're genuinely positive. A lot of people will tell the truth. Charles is an asshole, or productions are, and we always deal with challenges. But the thing that I've always witnessed from you on set is you see the positivity even in challenging situations. Like, oh,
Right.
today we could have done better. This could have been better. But what I will tell you is we got the job done. We now know what we need to do next week to make this a better, production. And that is the type of point of view that you come from. And we need more Chazes, to get to that, because more people need to see the light at the end of the tunnel, that all these creatives are together. And what I was trying to get at before is you see the best in people. You see the talents in people that they might not see in themselves. I've seen you walk up to actors or actresses or even production crew who aren't as confident as they should be. And you give
Right.
them the pep talk. You let them know that they're not alone. And you also let them know, hey, if you need any advice, you give them the guidelines of who they need to speak to or where they need to, because so many times people feel so uncomfortable in these strange situations. Going on any movie set is kind of bizarre. You got all
Yeah.
these people pretending that they're people that they're not, and
Mhm.
could be intimidating for
Mhm.
some. I mean, I'm
Absolutely.
intimidated every time I do it.
I mean, it's like when I say, when I ask you, what do you want me to do, or what can I make this a little bit better? And we feed off each other. Charles, we're, like light, night and day. Uh, Tell me what you want me to do, and I'll see what I can do. And then again, you hit it on, you hit it at 100%. Usually, an actor, actress, or anybody behind the scenes, behind the camera, usually have a bad situation, or even um, script supervising or whatnot. I mean, I sit and listen and say, "Hey, so what's going on?" And then I try to, revert. I try to make it into take that negativity and put that into more of a positive outcome to make it a great piece of work. And and at the end of the day, as you mentioned before, you're absolutely right. We just nailed one day out of how many, out of how many days to go to get it done. So
That's perfect.
it's you know
Absolutely.
So with our episode, we're almost at that hour mark. I just want to leave you with this one last question, and you
sure.
can tell me how it is.
Mhm.
What is next?
Well, to beat pancreatic and liver cancer, get back out there. I got some ideals, and I'm going to leave you with four. Like I said, four of my favorite quotes I just picked up from it. Besides raising the bar and it's a win, but don't give up. Don't ever give up. And my favorite line from motion picture about a little over 20 years ago from Gladiator. And what we do in life echoes in eternity. That is the true legacy in what we're doing right now. And that's what I'm trying to keep everything in perspective.
For
Awesome.
sure.
Well, thank you, Chaz.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I think this was an inspiring episode. And you always got family. And if you know Chaz, if you don't know Chaz, you got to follow him on social media. And he always will be a bright light of shining inspiration.
Thank you, Chaz.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chaz.
guys.
For
Appreciate it.
sure. It was a pleasure, man.
Yep.
As always.
All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode 7, this very inspirational episode, and our awesome guest, Chaz Martin. You can
Sure.
follow us like and subscribe on YouTube, please, please, please. And always remember, Thursday nights, dive on in, people.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yo.